Is this on? This on? Yeah, okay. Cool. What's the quality? Quality is shit. Okay. What is this? Okay, wait. Double checking quality settings. I'm only streaming at 720. Okay. Hold on a sec. Bear with me. Okay. Oh no, the output resolution's only 720p. Okay. I don't know if it's anyone but me viewing it. But I'm actually going to stop this for a second. Okay, I guess I have to turn up the bit rate. Okay. YouTube's complaining about the resolution, that I'm turning up the resolution. Really? It's only going up to 1080p? Fine. Then I will scale the output resolution. Okay, fine. Right, I don't know if anyone is watching this. I don't know if anyone will ever watch this. But today, I am building my own business from scratch. I'm not a business person. Don't take my advice. This is not, let's make a strategy for a business. This is, let's plan, let's just make one. So I have been tasked with, oh, you can't see it. I have been tasked with creating a platform for my business. Okay. Okay, doofus, they know that. And part of that is expenses. So today we're working on finances. And the goal is, today's goal is to make a component. I guess I should open up the desktop view. Add one right now. Display capture. Yeah. Hopefully that'll make it better. Okay. So I just increased the scaling a little bit to make it easier to see. But today's goal is write a collection of functions that take in a series of uh, transactions and produce a summary on them. So the client wants to know uh, if all of their transactions and the ways they could pay, um, how much did they make? How much did they receive by date, check, cash, Zelle, Venmo, Apple Pay? And I don't even think you can receive through Apple Pay. So you may not ever have, those may not ever have anything. Uh, those may never apply. But we'll get there. So my current task is making the summary function. Oh, that's pretty ugly. My current task is making the summary function so that the client can know how much money they're making from various methods on a per month basis. So this is Rust, okay? Um, I'm not going to give any tutorials on Rust. There are going to be plenty out there on the internet. I don't know if I'm going to link any. Um, but essentially, the goal of this function is eventually, in this web page right here, we're going to see some text that describes the methods, maybe here on the left or on the top. But she kind of wants it in a income by month from from month number year number to month year number, and she kind of wants a summary. I'm assuming we're gonna pick the last 6 months as a good default. Um, the last 6 months from today. But anyways, I've already got most of this down. Let me close all these extra windows here. I've already got most of this down. So we're using a query builder called Diesel, and the function goes a little bit like this. This is the function. This is the name of the function. It's going to accept a connection. We're holding on to the connection for a short time. It's called borrowing it. Month is an enum. An enum is just a type that describes a list of possible values. And in this case, it's the January through December. And I figure passing this month enum is more user-friendly than putting in a number, less likely to get it wrong. And then a year, that's an unknown variable. So we're just going to give it an I32. We don't know what the value is going to be. So we have to start by, we had to create a custom structure, which is an object essentially, that describes the shape of our data, so that we can pack it up into a vec or an array or another way of doing it, so that we can send it over the internet and have the client side know the exact structure or shape of the data, so that it can serialize it back from text into its object representation. For this, so this is the tricky part here because it's just convoluted. So what we're doing here is we're setting up we're creating create the date time object that represents, create the date time object that represents the end of the current month. This is this resolved month. This resolved month here, you have to determine if adding 1 to the current month would rule. You have to determine if adding 1 to the current month would roll the month and year to the month to January. So if they give, so when you're determining whether the end of the month, if you get December, you're going to have to set it to January because that's essentially adding 1, right? Logically speaking. So and if for whatever reason you have a span that starts at the end of the month, for whatever reason, if you're using this to look from the past into the future, or perhaps, I don't know, the end of the month happens to be January 1st of next year, right? But ideally, but to find the end of the month, the library has to know. So you have to logically, to find the end of the month, you have to say, okay, the library finds the number of days in a month by a mathematical formula. It doesn't have a set amount of like, 31 days in this month, 29 days in this month. No, it's a mathematical formula. So you have to roll to find the number of days in the month. You have to roll it over into the next month. So that's why we're doing this. So to do that, if, for instance, the start of the month is December 1st of 2021, and the end of the month is January 31st minus 1, well, you have to find the span of days between December 1st and January 31st. Right? December 1st and December 31st, right? And you need to be able to do that for every month. So we're going to set up a date span to get the number of days between the start of the month and the end of the month. So right now we're setting up, we're just setting up some logic to pick the right day. And you can do that by using if statements because they get resolved into expressions. So you can say if month equals chrono month December, year plus 1, else you just year. Thank you. That was my alarm to get up. Else you have to, you just give it the year and you make it a statement by putting a semicolon at the end. That's always important. So now we create date times. So now that we know what the year is, what the next month is, and the next year is, we have to create a set of variables that describe the start of the month, the start of the day, and then we have to create a date time from that. I know, right? You have to combine them because the transaction is by date and time. Figured that would be better record keeping than just a day. Anyways, um, so we're going to create a variable that holds the start of the month. We're going to call it month. Oh, Brittany called me. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Um, so because this is an enum, you have to call a method on it. You have to get the number from the month because from YMD is expecting uh, a year, which is an I32, a month, which is an unsigned 32-bit integer, and a day, which is also an unsigned 32-bit integer. So you have to give number of month. Okay, now we know the start of the month. Now we know the start of the day. Now we have to create a date time from it. Nope. Cool. Okay. So the reason we're doing it line by line like this is because it's an abhorrently hard to read when you just nest them together. So uh, so that's naive date, naive time, and we're going to assume that all of these dates are in UTC. So that means any date passed in would need to be converted into UTC time because the system's assuming UTC. Let's go look up new naive date, naive time. Okay, I have to say date from, oh, I forget it. Uh, it's from UTC. Sorry, from UTC. Oh yeah, you can't borrow, you can't give it a reference. It's important to give it a reference when they allow references because that allows you to reuse them later if you need to reuse them later, I guess. Whatever. So now you have a date time that represents the start of the month. So now I can go back here and yep, I can go here and I can replace just a little bit of an optimization. I can replace this here with start of month date time. And internally, oh, What? Okay. Well, autocomplete's being a little weird. Let's go down here and run a cargo check. Or do a cargo test. Just in case, that's what I thought. There was something wrong. Hold on. So, delete this. Then delete this. Okay. Now you can insert the variable you were expecting. Let's see. And now internally that will send it as I think that will send it as binary. I don't know exactly what it will send it as, but the database will turn that into a number and compare them. Okay. So now we have the start of the month. Um, Now here's the part where it might get tricky. So let end of day equals from HMS micro, and that's 20 23 hours 59 minutes 59 seconds and 999 um, microseconds. Hold on. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That can be no, we can just we need HMS Nano. We can do HMS. Yeah, we can just do nanoseconds. We don't need anything that precise. Unless somebody actually puts in the exact same nanosecond. I mean microsecond, but I doubt it. So we're just going to say HMS Nano. And now we have the end of the day. Now, okay, the end of the month. can create a variable that holds the next month. Naive time. Can actually just for sake of thought, we can move these down here. Okay, so the end of day is, well, obviously 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds, and 999, because we said 0 was the next day, was the start of the day. So from here to here, and then create a date from YMD. Obviously, you take the resolved year, and then the resolved month, number for month, and then the day is the first of that month. One moment, please. My dogs are barking. All right. Okay, sorry about that. Stream still good? You can just barely see the text. I can't really make that any bigger. All right. Because then I won't be able to work on it. One moment, please. While I stand for a minute. Okay. Now you have to find. Now you have to create an object. So what's common days? Then we have to create. Oh wait, no. Oh. Wait, no, that's not going to work. Because we're taking the start of this month minus the start of next month. Oh. Yeah, never mind, that won't work. That won't work, right? That'll add a day onto it. Whoops. elapsed duration equals, I think it was elapsed since. Of course. It's a sign duration sense. Okay, so we're going to use sign duration sense. Hmm. Um, so use sign duration sense. I think it's yeah, it's next month. Sign duration sense. Um, start of naive UTC. Here we go. Well, what they really want us to do, start of month, since start of month. And then just for debugging purposes, we're going to print out a line that says the number of days. And we're going to run a test and see if it compiles. Oh. PT0S? Oh, hold on. We don't want to debug. We just want a normal output. Oops. I think that's the... Oh, whoopsie. I put this in the wrong place. I modified the wrong variable. We can remove this as we print it later. Just going to cloud the output. Zero. Oh, no. No, 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 no. It's got to be year plus one. No, it's... Oh, hold on a second. It's month, year plus one. Otherwise, it's month plus one. Okay. Well, Here we go. That should work. At least now here's the problem. We can't guarantee that that's going to be correct, but we're going to test. We're going to call something called unwrap, which is going to turn well, this function returns what's called option. Option is a way of determining, okay, did this succeed or did it fail? If it failed, then it's going to panic. If it fails, normally you'd handle the error, but in this case, I'm just going to say unwrap, which is going to try to give me the success the value out of the option, and if it fails, it's going to crash the program, which sounds bad unless you know for sure that it will never fail. For instance, if you've accounted for that um, by testing if it's December, and because we're using an enum, there are only 12 possible values, so we should be fine. If we were using a raw number, we would probably want to add some extra protection from that. Okay, so now let's try this again. We should get a number that's greater than 0. Hopefully we get a number that's greater than 0. Cool. Do you see that? Here, let me make this bigger so we can see the result of the test. Number of days, 31. Cool. So now we can use this number as the year for the end of month. Yeah, we're going to need this again. And then find the number of days from the start of this month to the start of next month. And then we create an object that represents the end of the day, 1 nanosecond before the start of the month. So now we can say end of month naive date time. No, we're going to say date time UTC equals date time from UTC, and then we give it the end of month. This is the end of month. This is not going to work like this, but we're going to put that there. From YMD year month, the current month, and then the number, and then the elapsed duration dot num days. You have to forgive my casing errors here. Some we're gonna say try. We're gonna do what the compiler suggests and try into, which this is a conversion that will try to convert the type that it's attached to into the type that the compiler is expecting, and then we're gonna unwrap that. But instead of just unwrapping it, we're gonna unwrap OR, and we're gonna give it a default value if it fails. Now, will that work? Will it work if I do like this? Okay, that works. So now the end of month should be from end of I think we should be able to do it like this. Let me just say, we could say naive date time new end of month naive time is end of day. And then again, we're assuming all values were provided to us in UTC, but we're gonna need to ask for the time zone as part of this function at some point so that we get the right time zone. And we can do conversions, but for right now, we're going to assume that the dates provided were in UTC. All right. Stats. 45 kilobits per second. Okay, we can do that. I'm just double checking on the stream. All right, so I have to go to the bathroom and I'll be back in a minute. Right, where was I? Okay, I was actually going to check the end of the month. All right, what shows up now? Panics. Jesus. I doubt it will be more than that, but if we need to be more surprised, so what did we give it? We gave it January 31st. So all transactions between January 1st and January 31st. GTE. We're going to say GTE. Greater than or equal to the start of the month. It's GE, right? GE. Greater than or equal to the start of the month. And then we're going to say less than the end of month. I forgot about camel casing, so we have to do that. That's me. Cool. Find in some income for a group by methods, which is something you could probably do with select, filter, group by, and just collect it into a vector. But if it returns none, I won't be able to. It's just, instead of statically putting it there, I wanted to iterate over it. But maybe it would be better if I just put it in there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I gotta figure it out. Here we go. Start of month. And last night, for the life of me, I could not figure this out. Cool. So now technically that should be correct, and that should work for any month and year combination. Technically it should work. I don't know really. That's why we should test. So what's today? Today is March. This should return a result because I actually did put something in there. Yep, that returns something. So we could simplify this if we wanted to. Get result, and what we could do is we could actually simplify this by saying unwrap or 0, because if there are no transactions, but then I don't know, we might want to say, hey, you didn't have any cash transactions this month. You didn't have any credit transactions by month. So I don't know. What about think that's good enough for right now. Because we have like credit, debit, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, electronic check or electronic deposit and check. And well, if they would have hired me, I would have been so pedantic about it. I probably would have slowed everyone down, but I'm like, does it make sense to have no value here? No, we need a value. Then we should require it. On every step, require it. And if that fails, for some reason, you return an error. You make the app handle the error, make the user explain the error to the user the best possible, and then you fix it. You have the user fix it. If the user can't fix it, you have us fix it. And that way you never run into a situation where somebody can put something invalid into the database. Right, so that function works. You want to know the ironic thing? Okay, we can do this. Some refactoring. And it's expecting I think it's expecting a U32. Yeah. Hey, Sophie. Oh, that's just my dog. She gets lonely sometimes. Okay. And then start of month, start of day, start of month, resolved year, next month, elapsed duration, end of day. Okay. everything from here to here. Get or we'd say calc num days. Just num days. I want to borrow it for a little while. I don't want to remove it. Cool, same result. Forgot I was streaming for a minute. We're almost done here. Some do. Just trying to create a few methods to make this a little bit easier. I think that's good enough.